Hi everyone, welcome back to my Survivor vlog. Exciting stuff is still happening on Survivor. I was kind of worried about how things would go and how predictable things would be after last week. But before I go on, again, I will be spoiling certain aspects of the show if you haven't seen it yet, so don't keep watching until you've seen the episode. I don't know why you wouldn't have seen it yet, because, you know, chop chop, but... Just kidding. But yeah, anyway, so if you have seen it, let's go ahead and talk about it. Not much really happened post-tribal. Jeremiah went home. It was kind of, predictable. Okay, there was an idol thrown in, but you know what? Watch my video from last week if you want to talk more about that. So I'm going to just jump ahead and talk about the auction. Everyone loves a good Survivor auction, and this one was pretty interesting. As usual, the, biggest players in the game were the ones who hold out for the advantage in the game, and today those were Tony, Spencer, and Tasha. Though Tasha did bid, she didn't actually win anything, bid to the point where she actually got anything, but she was in it, and that made for some really great deals for the other players. I've rarely seen them get such great food for so little money on Survivor. So good for them. But then I guess the way the editing was done, we were under the impression that the game advantage, it's always a game advantage in the auction. They don't specify whether it's going to be an advantage in the challenge or an advantage for an immunity idol. But they kind of made it look like it was going to be a challenge advantage, I think, the way they edited, Tony speaking about it and even Spencer. So that, I think, misled viewers' expectations, and somehow Tasha's at the same time. They never put more than one advantage up for auction, so I don't get why Tasha didn't bid for it along with Tony and Spencer when it did come up. And I think that was a huge mistake on Tasha's part, even though it would have diminished their individual chances of getting the advantage after paying $500 to a third of a chance or 33% each. If Tasha had put her money in to draw for the rock, then at least Tasha and Spencer as a unit would have had a 66% chance of getting the rock, whereas at this rate it was 50-50. Tony got the rock, which means Tony got the advantage after already having the special idol and, just all around having used another idol before. So good luck to Tony for sure. But a really big mistake for Tasha. I guess, I don't know what got into her, but it's always the last thing that they put up for auction, and so she basically left with $500 in her pocket. Hey, don't frown at that, But yeah, it didn't really matter because as we saw later in immunity, she won because she's a beast and I love her focus. And sidebar, I love that the players who really need to win on Survivor, Spencer and Tasha are always at the end together for the challenges, and Tony's playing so hard that, he wasn't close this time, but it's just, I love that it really shows how mental of a game it is, even in the physical challenges. So go Tasha for that. But yeah, so anyway, moving sort of backwards a little bit again, the advantage is another idol, not an advantage in the challenge. And it feels like a lot of idols are being played, probably even more so because in the past couple seasons people have been holding on to their idols and not playing them, so it feels like a lot are getting played, but really it's just the same rules. I was talking about this with a friend earlier. They put in another idol into play when one gets played, and we've seen a lot of idols get played during tribal, so new idols get put into play. I think Tony may have a record of number of idols found, but I'd have to look into that further. Let me know in the comments, you Survivor whizzes, if you know of more idols being found by one single person. So Tony does find the idol, and now it's a question of how he's going to play it. He's really in a good position because how many are we now? There's 6 players left. So I think they can only play the idol for another 2 tribals. Tony has 2 idols. He's gonna make it to the final 4. He is unless yeah, there's no way he wouldn't, because he'd be safe next round anyway. I think he'd opt to use the special idol first, and then he'd have like the other idol, which he could just choose to play anyway. So he's pretty much safe till Final Four. But yeah, it was, I think, a smart move also on his behalf to show it to everyone, to like scare them, because Tasha and Spencer have been working quite well together to cause some disruption in the alliance, and they seem to be doing it almost seamlessly. Like Tasha says, "Oh, I want Tony to see me talking to the other girls," but she's not actually working the other women. She's just like sitting in the water and working Tony without him knowing. And Spencer is also working Tony on that same angle. I don't know if Tasha and Spencer like discussed this at all, but it was pretty beautiful to watch, even though Tony kind of also knew that like he might be getting played. I don't know, but it was really, it's pretty cool that all the other, especially that like Cass, Jeffra, and Trish were just completely unaware that any of this was going on. So anyway, moving forward to Tribal Council, the way Tony played his idol at that point was pretty smart. He put it around his neck. He pulled a Malcolm. Putting it around his neck does not protect him from being voted out, but on top of that, having shown it to his tribe beforehand and putting it around his neck, he pretty much ensured that no one was going to vote for him if the women were planning on blindsiding him. So well done, Tony, because he didn't even have to play it and he still has it in his pocket. So good move on that part. And I should touch also upon the fact that when Spencer went looking for the idol, all of a sudden Tony was like, "Oh, why would he be doing that? Maybe he's playing me." But I think that was just editing to create some suspense, so we weren't sure who the vote was going for. I still can't believe it worked, and Spencer like said some really cool stuff at Tribal Council about making moves, and Jeffra got voted out, and as she said in her going away speech, like she didn't make a move when she had a chance. Like it was exactly basically what Spencer said. And I don't know that it's even that bad for Tony in the end. I know people are getting fed up with him, but there's not much they can do about it at this point. Like if he's gonna make a move that might like ruffle some feathers, he still doesn't risk getting voted out for the next two votes. So even if they do decide, like we saw in the preview, to maybe blindside Tony, he's safe at the next vote no matter what if his name gets put down. So the bigger question then is, if he makes it to the final three, is he going to get votes to win? And I think that he could argue well enough to get those votes because he has been playing hard. And even though he's annoying, I don't think he's been as evil as like Russell that people wouldn't vote for him. I'm not sure. It really depends on who would be sitting at the end with him. So we'll see how it pans out for Tony. I'm still like supportive of him, even though the way things have fallen now, it seems like it won't be as unexpected and it'll be more predictable, but we'll see. On another note, LJ did not look very hot at Tribal Council, either this week or last week. So I think I'm doomed to finding Survivor men attractive only when they're dirty and scruffy. To be fair, I also happen to find the women much more attractive in that situation too, like after watching the show. But yeah, that's your fun fact for this vlog. Looks like we're nearing the end, so I'm excited to see what's going to pan out. I really want to see if Tony makes it to the final three. I'm excited that Tony lives to see that Spencer lives to see another day, yeah, it's going to be a good one. I think most of the remaining players, like I said earlier, like are very deserving for the win. I think Trish has played maybe more of an under the radar game, and I wouldn't really want her to win. But I think she has a good chance if she can somehow pull it off. Tony definitely, Spencer definitely, Tasha also has been playing a heck of a game. Cass, I mean, I really don't want Cass to win, and I don't think she will, but she's made a big move, like she can say that. And Woo's kind of like, that was funny, I should add this, when Tony came up to him and he was like, "So you want to make a move?" And then Woo was like, "Oh yeah, we were totally on the same page, like totally vibing, knew what he wanted to do, get Jeffra out, like we don't want to, get a women's alliance in there." But at the end of the day, like we saw his face when Tony came up to him and said, "Do you want to make a move?" And Woo was just like so surprised, so he's not really playing. I don't know. We'll see what happens next episode. But I like Wu. He's fun. Like, he adds something. But I can't put my finger on it, and I don't know that I'd want him to win or that he deserves to. But yeah, it's still like really, really cool people towards the end of the season, and looking forward to what's next. Looking forward to your comments as well. I promise I won't take as long to respond this week. See you guys.